Oh my, I'm so happy to talk to you.
Yeah, and you.
Let me pause Ustream. That's a good idea, right?
Yeah, you can pause it or just turn the volume off, whichever's easiest. Just it's the
Okay.
sound will echo, but I can't actually hear it.
Okay, good, good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you
Good.
doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Um, so I think I have two questions.
Yeah.
Um, the, I mean, like this force has been pushing through at different times in my life since I was a little girl.
Yeah.
Um, and I've had a few experiences where it's come through really strong, overwhelmingly so. So Ariel was just kind of like this tiny voice in the corner saying, "Oh my God, what is this?" And at the same time knowing what it was. But the last year, uh, great, like it almost makes me think of when big chunks of snow fall off the roof during the spring thaw, like big, huge slabs of my life or my behavior as I've known it have fallen away. I was in a friendship for 15 years that was very codependent, and this person very much didn't like non-dual teaching, so I kind of hid that aspect of my search from her. And that friendship just ended last summer. I had no idea it was about to end, and it's so wonderful it did. But lately, this past autumn, I've I've craved to be alone and to be silent so much. And I teach yoga full time, so there's a lot of extroverting in my experience and a lot of people in my experience. And I lost my voice for a full week, and so I got to be home and in the park. I live in Brooklyn in this beautiful park, and I felt the emergence of like the primordial come through so fully. And since then, and also lately, I just keep having this feeling like I need to be alone. I keep wanting to leave parties and get away from people. And of course I want this to come through because I've wanted it since I was a little girl. But and at the same time I feel like it's coming through, it's not up to me. But there's a desire to make more space and be alone more. And I wonder if that matters. If I should try and make that space.
Well, the question is who do you think that who do you think it is that wakes up?
Um, I guess I don't feel it so much as like a waking up, but as a falling away. Like I feel these false things that run me sometimes, and they seem to be falling away. It's like the dominance is shifting. Um, so I want to keep letting them fall away because I feel like at times I've fought against it, and I don't, and that feels futile now.
And
And
where is the edge of the person that feels like it's falling away?
that brought up a lot of emotion, but not an answer.
Yeah, there's really no answer.
Can I sit with it for just a moment?
Sure, sure.
Yeah, it's like it's more like feels more like a shell, like a crusty shell.
Yeah. And the question arises for that crusty shell. It doesn't arise for freedom or boundlessness. Boundlessness being when the crusty shell disappears. It can only arise for the crusty shell. That sounds funny.
Absolutely, absolutely. And but like,
So, do you think that it's the crusty shell that needs to be silent or needs to be by itself?
it's so tired of itself. You know, it feels like a kid that was kind of left alone by the parent, and it realizes like the parent's coming home,
Yeah.
and there's such a desire to give over authority back to the true authority.
Yeah.
But it's used to, you know, scraping together its meals and figuring its stuff out, so it doesn't necessarily trust
Yeah.
that this thing's gonna stay, and like that it can let go of control. Can I share something else?
Sure. Sure.
Just on the topic of survival.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I study trauma a lot, and I'm noticing all these as these things are falling away this year, and my behavior's different, my eating's different, how I socialize is different. You know, all of it's different. The animal that is Ariel is showing all the signs of an animal that's afraid for its life. Like, I'm wanting to eat 2 meals instead of 1 meal. Like, it's showing like fight, flight, freeze reactions, and then the presence is like, it's okay. Like, eat 2 meals if you need to. Like, it's okay. Like, it's the opposite of all the, you know, I'm in the yoga world, so I see all the kind of behavior of being spiritual happening, like meditating or food, or there's a lot of it seems like trying to limit or like limit the animal's desires in order to reach spirituality, but I'm experiencing the opposite, like the urge to kind of stroke and take care of the animal because it's like so afraid for its life, and being like, you're still gonna be fed.
So there's feelings of abandonment and fear and survival coming up. You don't need stories about awakening in order to pacify those fears. That's not needed. So there is the feeling of survival, of fear appearing. And then there is a person which tells itself it's okay and tells itself it's waking up and that this is a process. And the whole time it's living in a world of past and future, of me and my waking up story. There is nobody that can see it's waking up. The only person that can see it's waking up is the person that needs the story of waking up, is the illusion, is the shell, is the crusty shell. The crusty shell, the illusory person, doesn't even know what waking up is. It's been happening beyond the person. For light to go through the glass of the light bulb, it needs nothing of the light bulb. The light bulb doesn't have to say, oh, I'm going to let light go through me now. But it's so hard being a separate person and then the waking up happening, because the separate person doesn't want to feel pain. So in every opportunity it tells itself stories to try and avoid that pain, including the story of liberation, of waking up, of changing and transformation, of what I was before and what I was after. That's a crusty shell. You weren't anything before and you're not going to be anything afterwards. That illusion is something, the illusion of the self is something that's created in every instant. What's truly experiencing itself is energy now, which is perfectly still and moving, even if it's created an illusion of a separate self. Even if there's the appearance that you feel that there is somebody that feels like it's moving in time, there still always is that perfect, brilliant stillness. The energy is always still and moving, no matter what the person tells itself. You've never been that person that was waking up, the person that lost their friend in the summer. This is like the tree believing that it is somebody that grew its leaves or had its leaves or was small or big or blew close to the tree next to it or blew far away from the tree next to it. Life is a constant movement of energy, and energy is always changing and moving. There is nothing that's solid and permanent except that energy, which is everything, which is happening and not happening. But what appears now maybe in the aerial story is fear of survival. And that's what appears. There is fear. There is fear. I'm not enough. I will die. These only exist with the idea that you are separate. And then the body's having the effect of feeling like it's going to die. You are never going to die. I'm not talking to a body, I'm not talking to someone that lost their friend in the summer. That person doesn't exist. There is only energy speaking to energy, which is still and moving simultaneously. That isn't the person hearing, it isn't the person looking. That illusion is something that comes and goes and is always changing and claims to be something solid. This is non-duality, but it's really not likable, because what can you do with that? What can you be with that? How can you make your pain better with that? There is nothing to be if all there is everything and nothing. And what the person wants to do is it wants to take things in from its environment. It wants to take things in from others in order to grow itself, in order to be more a person, in order to be more solid. You are never going to wake up because you have never existed.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. It's still so real.
It's so crazy.
And then there's something else that knows beyond any human ability to know.
Yeah, there's like a cliff that the thoughts stop at the edge of, and there's like, I can sense
It's total freefall.
but like so much there, but I can't, I stop there because I can't
You
partake.
can't. Yeah, no, you can't. That's exactly right. You can't partake in it. As soon as the jump's taken, which is nothing to do with the you, as soon as that happens, the you dissolves back into everything.
Are these urges to retreat from the world valid or relevant?
There's nothing that's valid or not valid. It's just it doesn't work like that. Whatever happens is the perfect play of things. Even the thoughts that are saying, I want to be by myself, I want to be by myself. There's not a right way or a wrong way. There is only what happens. It can't go wrong. In order for it to go wrong, there needs to be separate things. But if this is one energy moving simultaneously together, if you imagine like wind blowing, then you see that there's no effect that can be wrong. It would require everything else to be different. The question is, though, will it bring you as a separate person or you as a body more pleasure or more pain? That's what the person's interested in, because it believes that it can tell about the future. It thinks I can foresee the future a little, and will me retreating do me good things or bad things? And in the flow of things, who knows if it will be pleasurable or painful? That's the flow of things. But there is nothing ultimately as energy that can go out of line, because energy is there the whole time, and energy is totally free, beyond our concept of freedom.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit like moving furniture around in different houses in a dollhouse or something.
Yeah. But it will work its way out. If the body is no longer interested in so much socializing, then it will stop doing it. But it does it all by itself. And no matter what the afterthought the person tells itself, it bears no relevance. But that separate self thinks, I'm choosing, it's my decision. I've got to get the right decision, I've got to know what the outcome will be. And that's the illusion, that was you.
Thank you.
Oh, with pleasure, Ariel.
That was hardcore.
It's so energetical. It's way beyond what we think's happening.
Oh, some crazy emotional waves just came through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Ariel. Bye.